Hello everybody, my name is Fire Marshal Quincy Jones and I'm here from the Battle Creek Fire Department, and today we are focusing on this year's fire prevention theme for 2020, which is Serve Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen. And as you know, the Battle Creek Fire Department is always a big component and an advocate of fire safety. And so this year, because of the unfortunate situation with the COVID-19, we had to do things a little different. But we still wanted to give you the important safety information that we all want you to have with regards to this year's theme about fire safety in the kitchen. So this year, generally, we have an open house, as you all know, that we rotate around all the different stations. And this year's station would have been Station 6. But because we were not able to actually have you all come to the station, we thought that we would have you come to the station in a different way. And that way by virtual media. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to do a few things. We're going to concentrate on the theme of this year's fire safety or fire prevention program, but we're also going to give you a tour of the station. We're also going to let you see the firefighters that work here at Station 6, which is on Capitol Ave Southwest here in Battle Creek, near the highway. And we're also going to show you some demonstrations of things not to do and things you need to be aware of when it comes to cooking as it relates to fire safety in the kitchen. So again, we hope that you all will enjoy this program. We want you all to be safe, and please remember, fire safety is an important feature in all families. Thank you.
Well, welcome all. This is station number 6. A little bit of history. This was originally Battle Creek Township Fire Station number 2. When the merger of the city and the township took place, it became Fire Station number 6 for the city of Battle Creek and has remained that way ever since. So we're happy to have you here today. We're going to go on a little bit of a tour, give you an opportunity to show where we spend on this shift today, every third day of our lives, serving the citizens of Battle Creek. So come on along and we'll go and take a look around a little bit here. As we come up into the app floor, here on this side to my right is Truck 6. It's a 100-foot ladder truck, a primary ladder vehicle that we use in the city of Battle Creek. New to us, about 3 years old now is all. So been a real nice addition to the fleet, and we're real proud of it and glad to have it. Over here, what we call Squad 6. And we'll get a chance to kind of open a few of the compartments and see what that looks like in each side a little bit and actually finish our station tour. But Squad 6 holds a lot of a hazmat material for us, air monitors, those types of things. Takes care of the medical call load out here at this particular station for us and cuts down a little bit on the wear and tear on a much more expensive vehicle for us. So come on in and we will kind of go over this way first. We're going to go up into our sitting room here in our primary area for Station 6. Got a little window here that goes into an office. Come on in. So as we come in here on this side here, a small little office area that we have here for us to work out of. Station was built in the 1970s, so still relatively new as far as the stations go in the city of Battle Creek. Kind of some sitting room here, television. Bulk of the day, quite frankly, is spent in here. Primary hours, just kind of in and out, whether it's taking calls, doing training, all the types of things that are normal for our day. Pretty nice kitchen for us. Like I say, these two kind of intermix. I'll be honest, the kitchen table draws a lot of attention in a firehouse. It's kind of the primary location where conversations take place, debates take place. So the kitchen table is kind of a prized spot in a firehouse and demands a lot of attention and quite frankly holds kind of near and dear to our heart. And that would be the case no matter where you go in any place in the country. We can cut through right through this way. Restroom, a normal restroom here, a nice shower for us here. Bunk room, bedroom, we call it a bunk room. In normal households, be referred to as a bedroom. Everybody gets a little bit of a closet area up here just to kind of throw some essentials in. And we have another locker room that's down in the basement. Originally, when this station was built, primary lockers were these because they had far less folks who were working here when it was a township station. So things have changed a little bit as we've gone over time. But yeah, nice sleeping area here for us. You come through, we have an additional officers area back here. They kind of have their own little separate quarters back there. And then everybody needs kind of an interesting thing here. If you see something that's kind of unique, everybody has their own set of blankets. So what we do is we all have our own set of a tote. It stays in a little cubby here, and each day we come in and we make up our beds for the day. And when we're finished, they go back in here and we put them away until we come back 2 days later. So our rotation is we work 24 hours. We come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. We go home at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Today is a Tuesday, and I will be back on Friday morning, barring any overtime or anything in between, or if you happen to have a vacation day. So 24 on and 48 off is our universal schedule that we just maintain our whole career. Come along this way a little bit. We'll come on downstairs. Got kind of a general area down here. It's kind of a training room. It's sort of a workout area. Studying goes on down here. You want to get away from everybody and find a space to study if you have a promotional exam or something else going on in your life. This is typically where that would take place. Just kind of I want to call it a catch-all, but it's kind of just a general space that everybody uses for whatever it needs to be. An additional computer there. If there's training going on, we have one upstairs in the office, and we have an additional one down here that we have as well. Also, the laundry is down here. Station 6 takes care of washing all of the towels, the daily towels that folks wash or dry dishes with and whatnot. They all rotate through Station 6. We have a washer and dryer here. We wash them, and then we disperse them back out to the different stations. Yeah, we can come on in here just a little bit. We have one other small little seating area here. It's kind of nice sometimes when you have 5 folks here each day. So when you have 5 folks, sometimes in the evening after you spent the whole day together, it is nice to be able to separate just a little bit and get away a little bit. Another restroom sort of behind Jessica there, and then the primary locker room is in here. Everybody gets their own locker. Keep their primary clothes down here. Change your clothes down here. All your coats and all that type of stuff, that's in here. So we'll transition upstairs. That's kind of our station. That's our home every third day. We're proud of it. We enjoy it. It's where we come, and this becomes our family. So this is where we spend our day. And we'll go upstairs and take a little bit closer look at Truck 6 and Squad 6 if you guys want to join us. All right, so we've made our way back up, and we're back up on what we call the app floor or apparatus floor. It's what we refer to it typically would be the app floor. So this is Firefighter Hudson. This works here with us today on C shift, station number 6. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of walk down between the 2 vehicles, kind of going on each side, and have Firefighter Hudson kind of show us what equipment each vehicle has, at least on down this side of the vehicles, and we can kind of get an idea of what we have here. So, Jeff, if you kind of walk through and kind of point out a few things that you like to talk about as we go work our way through, that'd be great.
Yeah, so on both of our rigs we carry a lot of different equipment, right down to just what we call our hydrant bag that we use to connect to our hydrants when we have fires, to extrication equipment where we can open doors, take roofs off vehicles, anything that we've got to do to get to somebody who's been in a car accident. We carry extra hose for our high rise, so when we go up into the taller buildings where we got to get, just water anywhere, the hose coming off the rig isn't always going to quite reach, so we can use the interior systems of the buildings to connect to and get to a room that's on fire. And as always, we always carry lots of extra tools. Chainsaws, K12, more for window bars, stuff like that. So something that's not wooden. Get over here on our squad. There's no water on this rig other than just a 2.5 gallon extinguisher, but we carry more specialized tools for hazardous material operations, plugging and diking, stuff like that.
Hey Jeff, can you explain to us what that strange pipe is that's hanging down there?
This is our primal vent system, which is normally connected to the rig. I left it unconnected to the rig because so we could see the equipment. But what we do is this just magnetizes to the exhaust system on the rig, so when we start the rigs up inside, we don't have that nasty exhaust going in the apparatus bay where we're having to breathe it. This is where one of the firefighters during the day sits. Today actually happens to be my turn. I sit backwards in the rig, and we go to a fire. I usually get to be the first one to pull the hoses off the rig with my officer. Our officer sits right up front. He controls the siren, radio, and gets to talk back and forth to everybody. On our squad, our driver sits here. They're usually the rig that goes to the medical situations, and if they need help, we'll follow along and help them.
Hello, hello, and welcome to another special social distancing edition of Keeping You Informed. We are recording this in our separate locations via Zoom so that we can maintain the safest social distancing during COVID-19 pandemic. I hope you will continue to stay informed by visiting the city and county websites, which have all the latest news and information on the COVID-19 response in our community. Those are battlecreekmi.gov/coronavirus and calhouncountymi.gov. Today, we have another great topic and great guest. As always, it's Jessica Vanderkook, Communications Manager. Could not do this without her. So happy to have you. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Lynn, thank you.
You're welcome. And today we are joined by Quincy Jones, our fire marshal, because it's Fire Prevention Week, but we just gonna call it Fire Prevention Month. It's October, it's gonna be month because they're gonna see it every Wednesday at 6 o'clock here on Access Vision. So we'll just call it a month, even though there's a specific week we're gonna be talking about during this conversation. As we like to start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for the city as the city's fire marshal, and how you came to this position. You know, in case there's some folks out there who are looking to go into this line of work, you kind of let them know about your journey and how you got there.
Lynn, my name is Quincy Jones. I am the fire marshal for the city of Battle Creek. I've been the fire marshal for approximately 7 years. I've been on the fire department for 25 years. It will be next year, April. And so my role for the city is basically trying to maintain the city with regards to safety when it comes to code pertaining to businesses, fire investigations, public relations, also plan review. So my role is pretty extensive in regards to what I do for the city.
As fire marshal, you know, you're kind of on call a lot, right? So in this career, you have to be kind of flexible with your times as well. Is that correct?
Yes, there does have to be a lot of flexibility that comes with my schedule. So definitely the schedule is very flexible.
So for Fire Prevention Week, it always has a theme. Tell us about this year's theme. This is one that I'm gonna love this week, this year. Go ahead and tell us what the theme is and kind of how you're planning for it.
This year's theme for Fire Prevention Week is serving up fire safety in the kitchen. And I mean, the theme basically explains itself, and it's something that is a very good theme, because especially when it comes to fires, because we have a lot of fires that have been taking place because of cooking in the kitchen. And because this theme is such a important theme related to something that we see as fires are, kitchen fires are one of the leading causes of fires, it is something that all families can relate to. Some very good teaching points in regards to this, because we're going to focus on things such as what things not to do and what things that you should do when it comes to fire safety in the kitchen. One of the teaching points that we're going to be focusing on in regards to that is, when we are cooking, we want to make sure that we have a means of, say for instance, if we had a small grease fire, we want to make sure that we have maybe a lid or something beside us on the stove that we can actually put over and cover if there was a small grease fire to put the fire out. Then at that point, we'd also want to remove that item from the burner so that it can cool off and basically not cause an even greater scene with regards to cooking on the stove. The other thing too, one other thing that is very important when it comes to our clothing when we're cooking, we want to make sure that we don't have loose garments that are draping over cookware where we could potentially cause ourselves to catch on fire. Another important thing too is that we want to make sure that when it comes to cooking, that we don't leave food unattended, that we basically have some type of, making sure we're monitoring the cooking activities, making sure that we don't lay on the couch and fall asleep, things that basically happen. I can't tell you some of the fire investigations that I've been involved in where basically it has been because of things like this, where people have been cooking but left the cooking unattended. Another thing too is that when it comes to our children, we want to make sure that we have a kid safe or kid free zone where we don't have our kids close by when we are cooking. As a matter of fact, as a rule of thumb, you want to probably use as a 3 feet distance factor when it comes to this. Even when it comes to cooking ourselves, wanting to be careful about our proximity in relation to the burners and things of that sort. And then the other thing is that when we are cooking, we just want to make sure that we don't have things that are placed around our cooking elements in close proximity. We want to have still that 3 feet distancing of basically not having those things in such close proximity. And then another factor is that maybe we have teenagers that we allow to cook. If we do, maybe we want to set some guidelines in regards to that, saying that, hey, you're allowed to cook while we have basically adult supervision, but in the lack of adult supervision, then maybe you don't want to allow that cooking to take place, so that we can make sure that it's being monitored and that the cooking practices are safe.
Seen this happen time and time again. So these are some really good points when it talks, you don't leave your food unattended. Make sure that you don't have kitchen towels, pot holders and stuff laying around that could catch fire, loose clothing around the burners and around that could catch fire. Really good points, especially trying to keep our kids safe when it comes to cooking. And making sure that you have a safe zone around that stove to keep them safe. Real good points. I can only imagine how often this happens, and with just looking at some of these simple measures, you can prevent a lot of heartache and a lot of damage and a lot of financial setbacks for you and your family, as well as keeping you all healthy in your home and ability to eat that great food you're cooking. So then when it comes to fire safety information that you mentioned and talked about, one that's really important, very, very important, is smoke detectors. Talk to us a little bit about smoke detectors and why they're so important.
Very important factor when it comes to fire safety in the home. And as a matter of fact, especially as it relates to cooking, as we know that sometimes there can be fires that stem from accidents from cooking. And so smoke alarms are going to be that first initiating device that basically lets us know that there's a potential fire in the home, in addition to other factors where smoke alarms will go off. And so one unique thing, and we pride ourselves on this from the Battle Creek Fire Department is that for years we have had a smoke alarm installation campaign. And in that campaign, we come in and we install smoke alarms in every bedroom, in the living rooms, in the hallways, in the lower levels, all levels of the home, and basically try to make sure that we maintain fire safety in the homes of our community. We definitely, our goal is to basically try to get smoke alarms installed in every home. Now, with the campaign, of course, there have been some adjustments and some things that have been put on hold because of our unfortunate pandemic with COVID-19, where our smoke alarm installation program, we're not coming into the homes, and we are basically trying to wait, till we get more of a safer environment. But that program has not been completely stopped from the standpoint of our future expectation of continuing this program. So, but we do have that program in play, and that is a very important function. And in addition to the smoke alarms that we install, we also install one carbon monoxide alarm in each home with the installation of the smoke alarms. And this is very important because we have had in our community, we have had incidents that have been unfortunate ones being related to carbon monoxide alarms, carbon monoxide incidents. And so with that being the case, we found it very instrumental and another important safety factor to include those carbon monoxide alarms, one with every installation that we do. And we will continue to do that with the carbon monoxide alarms until we don't have any.
A good point to really point that out, that carbon monoxide is also something that we should be concerned about and have a detector for. So great information. So great, we've got the smoke alarms, we've got the carbon monoxide detector. What else do we need to have? And I think you're going to tell us a home fire escape plan. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So yes, it is very important for us to have a home fire escape plan. And when we have that plan, we want to make sure that everyone in the household is included in that plan. And some of the things that we can do to really make this stand out, especially when it comes to our kids, and making sure that they get that visual concept of what is involved in that plan. Some of the things that we can do is that we can do a simple drawing with our kids, maybe doing a little drawing that kind of gives a depiction of the routes of where we may want to go when it comes to a fire. If we're in a certain room, which route we're going to take to get out. We want to show them that in every room, we should always be able to locate two ways out in every room. And then the biggest portion of this component is basically the repetition of practicing that plan. We want to practice that plan so that if an emergency comes, because a lot of times when we're in an emergency situation where we have to act, sometimes the trauma, the shock can give away to some of the things that we think will be first nature. But if we practice those things continually, hopefully the repetition will, in the event that we do have an emergency, will kick in and we will naturally know what to do. So it's not just a matter of having a fire safety escape plan, it's a matter of continually practicing that plan. And then we also want to emphasize that once we get out of the house, we need to have what? This is what I always question the kids at Fire Safety, Fire Prevention Week. We want to have a meeting place. Yes, we need to have a meeting place. A meeting place that is a place where everyone in the household knows where to go in the event of a fire situation or any emergency situation for that matter, where you get out of the house and every family member knows where to go and meet at that place. That place could be a next door neighbor's house. It could be in the backyard by a tree, wherever it is at that you designated that place is. That's where everyone in the family should know where to go and where they should go. Now, here's another very important factor when it relates to that meeting place. Once we go to our meeting place, we stay inside. Excuse me, we stay outside. We stay wherever that meeting place is at. Whether it's by the tree, neighbor's house, like I said, we stay at our meeting place. We do not go back inside for anything. The golden rule is once you're outside, we stay outside. That means not for Xboxes. We don't go back in for PlayStations. We don't go back in for any of those things because those things are things that can be replaced. What's most important is our valuable lives, the lives of our family. And so make sure that that is a sticking point in your fire escape plan. Once outside, stay outside.
I think also, I just want to highlight when you're talking about this plan, oftentimes, where do pets come into this? Because you mentioned things like Xbox or whatever, but sometimes people, pets are like family. And so when you're talking about your plan, you should really talk about including pets, your family in that as well. What happens when people really want to try and go back for a pet? That's the wrong thing to do, but you can make the pet part of the plan.
Yes, Lynn, you're right. And when it comes to our pets, pets are definitely a part, and they should be a part of the plan. Because, yeah, pets are like family members to us. We love them dearly. But we also have to realize that with that, we have to also prioritize and do this in a way that does not risk the lives of others in our family. So while we can, yeah, if we've got pets that are in close proximity to us and we can get them out in a fire emergency, then most definitely do that. But in the event that we can't, we need to get out. And then once the fire department comes and we are there to try to mitigate the scene, we can let the firefighters know where our pets may be. If we are able to get to those pets and be able to save them, we will. You got to realize this, though. A lot of times, just like we don't want to be in that environment in the house, and when we have a fire, pets don't want to be there either. So they may try to come out if you leave a door open or whatever. They may try to come out on their own because they don't want to be in that environment. But the thing is that yes, we want to use soundness of mind. We want to use practical thinking when it comes to this. But we also have to prioritize and realize that the first and foremost thing is that if we can't get to our pets, we need to get out of the house because we don't want to endanger any more of our family members by trying to do rescue for those pets in lieu of not being in a dangerous position.
Thanks for that great information. So we know, hey, we're in Michigan and winter isn't too far away at this point. We're in October. So let's talk about some important tips related to home heating.
So as we all know, the weather is changing, winter is coming, it's getting colder. And so as a result of that, we have people that definitely are turning on their furnaces, turning their thermostats on, and basically trying to get warmer heating inside the home. So when it comes to heating our home, we just want to make sure that we're doing things safely. We want to do things like making sure we're changing our filters. That's a big important factor of heating our homes, especially after the long break of summer and spring and things of that sort. Also, when it comes to heating our home, we want to use some safety guidelines when it comes to that, making sure that we don't have things that are in close proximity to things like space heaters. This is very important because these heating elements definitely are also factors of fire cause. And so we want to make sure that when we have these space heaters and things of that sort, that we are being very careful when it comes to utilizing them. One thing we want to make sure of is that if we're not, using the space heater, we want to make sure that not only do we turn it off, but also we want to unplug it so that we totally disconnect any power source going to that unit. We also want to make sure that we be careful about things like falling asleep right in front of a space heater, where basically we could potentially have things like blankets or other garments that could catch fire. So when it comes to these heating elements, we need to basically just be careful. Be careful, and also make sure that if we're using heating elements that are to be installed, that we have someone that is licensed, that is certified to do those things, so that we can try to ensure that they are done correctly and by code as well, and that we reduce the potential factor of having a fire.
And another heating element that people use when it is not intended for that is their stove or their oven. Talk a little bit about that.
That is a very unfortunate and a dangerous situation when we do have people using their ovens as a heating source. And this is what I say, while ovens can produce heat, that is not the intention of what the oven is to be used for. We know that the ovens are used for basically cooking food. So with that being said, we want to make sure that that's something that we're not doing. We also could potentially introduce factors of carbon monoxide with these type of practices. So yes, please, let's not do that. We have also have had incidents that have been related to those type of practices of people utilizing an appliance in an improper way, where it has caused a dangerous environment. So yes, please, let's not use our ovens as a heating element for our homes.
So thank you for that good sound advice when it comes to heating our home. Great information. I also know we're going to go to Jessica to talk about where people can find out more information about Fire Prevention Week and all the other information that will be released during the month of October. I also wanted to say, for those who are seeking assistance, you can always go to 211. Did I get that right? 211? 211 is always a great resource to make sure that if you are having challenges of some sort, need some kind of social service, that you can seek those questions, those answers from 211. So Jessica, take it away. Where can they find out more information?
Yes, and great tip about 211 if you need utility assistance. So the right here on Keeping You Informed is a great resource. So thanks to everyone who is watching. And if you are watching the episode on TV and want to catch some of these details that Quincy went over again, you can go to accessvision.tv and you'll find this episode on demand. So that's great if you need to go back for reference. The Fire Prevention Week videos that Quincy talked about, we're going to be sure to share those on the city's website and social media. So definitely subscribe to the City of Battle Creek, Michigan YouTube channel and like and follow the Battle Creek Fire Department on Facebook. They have a great active page that you can keep up with. And our website is battlecreekmi.gov. So be sure to watch for information there as well. You can also take a look at the National Fire Protection Association. They host, so to speak, Fire Prevention Week each year, and you can find more information and some of the kitchen safety tips that go along with the theme this year, and that's at nfpa.org, so you can find that information. And if you have any other questions about the things that we've talked about here today or anything else related to fire safety, you can always give the Battle Creek Fire Department a call And you'll want to start at 966-3519 to get more information from them directly.
Whoa, lots of information. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Quincy, I'm going to give you one last try here. Is there anything additional that you want to share with our viewers that we might have missed during your great informative session here today?
Another important instrumental tool when it comes to fire safety, and we've talked about various other components. We've talked about smoke alarms, we've talked about carbon monoxide alarms, but another important component that we can have in our home is basically having a home fire extinguisher. And with this, though, we want to be careful, because while an extinguisher can be a very useful and instrumental tool in especially in things like a small kitchen fire, we want to also recognize that they have limitations. It is not the same as a fire engine coming up to a home and introducing a hose line with a water stream. So this is where we got to use some practical sound judgment. While these things can be instrumental, they can also pose a danger if we go beyond the limitations. We don't want to try to introduce a fire extinguisher into a blazing fire where we need to get out. So with that being said, let's use some soundness of mind. Also, when it comes to basically utilizing an extinguisher, and just give you some insight, one instrumental instruction, you might say acronym, that we use for an extinguisher is PASS: pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. And so when it comes to things like that, this is where you want to make sure that you're looking at the manufacturer manual in regards to how we utilize those things, and making sure that we're doing it within a safe and reasonable manner. And then here's the big thing. If there's a situation where, even if you have a fire extinguisher and it's a small fire, but you feel that you can't, or you're too much in shock, traumatized by the event, by all means, just get out. Get out, dial 911, and as quickly as you can, so that we can get there in a manner of being able to basically put the fire out and mitigate the scene. Do not put yourself in a dangerous position if you feel that you are, traumatized, not really thinking in regards to what do I do, what do I do? If you're at that stage, get out and get help. For a final note, I would just like to say that I know that we're all in an unfortunate situation here, not just locally in our own community here in Battle Creek, but universally. And I just want to say that, we from the Battle Creek Fire Department, from the city of Battle Creek, we just want everyone and wish everyone to be safe. Please do your utmost to practice safety measures for the betterment of you and your families. We are also wanting to emphasize that, just because of this pandemic, that doesn't take away the fact that we still all need to do our part. And when it comes to Fire Prevention Week, that's what we're asking. We want you to, the holidays are coming up, people are coming home, this and that, where we just want people to have a safe environment, especially as it relates to fire safety in the kitchen. So from all of us from the city of Battle Creek, we wish you all good health. We also wish you safety in your homes, and let's get through this together. Thanks for joining us, and you all be safe.
Couldn't have said it better. We appreciate you and all you do, Fire Marshal Quincy Jones. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jessica Vanderkolk, for joining us once again, our communications manager. And thank you, our viewing audience, for tuning in to Keeping You Informed. I am your host and humble servant, Commissioner Lynn Ward Gray, proudly serving Ward 2, and wishing you a great, great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
How you doing? I'm Lieutenant Williamson, firefighter McCarthy. We're here to talk to you a little bit about some kitchen safety, maybe some cooking things. Say you're doing some cooking, got a little pan on there, it's burning good. If it catches fire, what do? Right? You don't throw water on it, that's the worst thing you can do, okay? The easiest, quickest way is just to cover it and turn the stove off. Simple, easy trick for putting out a grease fire. Move it off. You're good, it's not getting any more heat, it'll smolder itself out. Another couple quick points. Don't leave your handle out where it's going to catch and spill on you. Keep your children 3 feet away from the hot surface. And make sure you're not wearing loose clothing that can maybe get over as you're leaning over, could potentially start on fire. Got anything to add?
No, I think that's great for kids. You know, it's awesome if you want to learn how to cook with your parents, but make sure you listen to them and keep your distance. We like to try to keep a 3-foot rule so you're staying back unless they're directly supervising you and kind of watching you do it. So learn how to cook, but make sure you're doing it with an adult.
So another great point is, as you're cooking, always be monitoring or aware, right? A lot of times we like to simmer our food, slow cook things. Just be in the area and keep an eye on it.
So there you have it. I hope you all enjoyed the tour. I hope you all enjoyed the demonstrations, as well as meeting the firefighters here at Station 6. As you all know, while this year's theme concentrates on fire safety in the kitchen, we still don't want to forget about important things like having smoke alarms in our homes, in every bedroom, and in the hallways, and in the basement, and also in other areas that we as the Battle Creek Fire Department will generally install in our smoke installation program. Now, right now, due to the whole COVID deal, the COVID-19, the smoke installation program has taken a little bit of a turn, and some things are on hold right now. But we do have plans on getting that program back and running, but we just want to make sure that everything gets in a safe environment before we do so. We also want to note the fact that we may look different when you see us come to your home now for medicals and things of that sort, because now we are also wearing different types of masks so that we can protect ourselves if we come in an environment, so that we can be safe as it pertains to even coming to your homes for a medical. So COVID has changed a lot, but while it has changed a lot, it has not changed the fact that we still want to try our best to be safe. To be safe here at the Battle Creek Fire Department, we want you to be safe at your homes with your families. And so again, we thank you. We thank you for your time. We thank you for all that you do to try to be safe within your homes, as we also try to be safe within our Battle Creek Fire Department homes as well. We hope that you enjoyed this. We hope that you will watch this on Facebook and get a chance to see the interaction that we have here at the station. And once again, we wish you all safety, and we hope that everyone has a good remainder of the year.